I am the president of Compass Connections. My name is Sonya Thompson. I'm an LCSW supervisor, and this is my 15 minutes.
Hey y'all, my name is Lee Cage Jr. and we are back with another episode of 15 Minutes With. Here's the thing, folks. When others see crisis, she sees a path forward. And when other systems are broken, my speculation is she has the ability and quite frankly does build new ones. My guest today has spent more than 25 years where she stood at the gap, fulfilling roles to support families, children, and really in their most vulnerable points of some of their lives. Today, she leads over 4,000 people across 122 communities as president of Compass Connections. And quite frankly, y'all, she's my friend. Welcome, Sonya, to 15 Minutes With.
Awesome. Happy to be here.
Sonya, listen, I've had the pleasure of partnering with you on a number of things over the last couple of years. In each of the cases, you have not only been graceful, but probably one of the most competent leaders that I've ever met in the mental health and family space. How the heck do you do it? Is it like a button, a secret squirrel thing?
I think lots of experience.
Okay.
Lots of experience and being really passionate about what I know we can do as a society.
So talk to me a little bit about your leadership journey.
So I'm grateful you said 25 years. It's really 35 years.
What?
That I've been leading. And, most of it's been in the nonprofit space. And I see leadership as kind of three things. One is leading the mission forward. The second thing is leading the people who move the mission forward. And then the third thing is making new leaders. And take great pride in being able to mentor and support and just guide the next generation of leaders, because that is so important.
Now, from what I hear, you've been cultivating leaders not only in your professional life, but even in your personal life. I think you have a young leader who's serving in the military as well. Is that true?
And that is true, yes. And he is he's a pretty special guy and I think makes a difference in the world every day.
Yeah, I wonder, he probably got that from his mama. So Compass Connection has been obviously at the forefront of supporting children and their family. I'm very curious. I heard this concept around something like the superhero generation. Talk to me a little bit about what that is and how you view it.
We started looking, we've served thousands of families, and, we started looking at who is a caregiver, defining who is a caregiver, and looking at the fact that we're all caregivers. Our world is complex. Modern families are complex. And as we began looking at them, we saw a couple of things. One is we're caregivers in our roles professionally, but we're also caregivers personally. And then we provide services to people who are caregivers as well. Our foster parents are caregivers. They may be caring for their personal family, but they're also caring for our kids. And looking at that, we realized a couple of things. Systems are fragmented, and that's a problem, and it needs to be fixed. Second to that, we realized that caregivers has a negative connotation, and it shouldn't. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is. It doesn't matter what your community looks like. If you're a caregiver, you have the same concerns, right? We have caregivers who are young individuals who are taking care of aging parents, making sure they get their medications, their appointments, right? We have people who are parenting, taking kids to soccer practice, making sure they get to school, do their homework, but also then caring for aging parents. We have couples who are caring for one another through whatever issues they have going on. We have new families, and they are caregivers as well, right? And when you look at it that way, it shouldn't be a negative thing, right? And so moving away from terms like the sandwich generation, which connotates you're getting squashed to death, right? To superhero thought process, which just simply means give me a cape and I can do anything. And that's what our families need to walk away knowing. And again, it impacts everyone. Secondly, the resources, again, are so fragmented. Being in the nonprofit space as long as I have, I know there's a resource for everything.
But it's through your experience, I'm betting.
It is.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to access it. I believe AI can play a huge role in linking those resources and connecting those dots. But we have to take it on as a movement. The superhero generation should be a movement.
I love that. So you're focused on caregiving as a policy issue, not just as a private one, it sounds like.
That's correct. I mean, our lawmakers have to get on board with how we're defining it and what it means, and that, policy changes can be made that kind of force the hand of entities to work together, to make sure that resources are linked. The resources, again, I'm going to say, are there. It's just getting them connected in the right way. And it has to be something that we all take on.
Wow. So if the resources exist and they're there, which I believe that they are, what is something that the everyday human can do in order to push that agenda forward?
They can talk in their communities. They can talk to their lawmakers. They can get engaged with us and be a part of the movement. Again, it's going to take us all. It's going to take all communities, and we can do this. I know we can.
So it sounds like I see it more as caregiving as a source of public good.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
Right. Don't put me on the thing. I'll advocate for it. So, Sonya, I have this question here. We know a lot about what you've done from a career perspective, but tell me a little bit about who is Sonya when she takes off her superhero cape in her real life? What are things that you're conquering?
Aging. I mean, the reality of
No.
Yes, I know. The reality of that, having family members like my son, who is in a different city, he's serving his country, doing absolute public good, but I can't get to him if there's a problem easily, right? And so knowing the resources are there to support him and what they are. So I think I'm probably a chronic caregiver. Let's just say that. I am a dog mom.
Oh.
Yes, I have 3 lovelies, and
Okay.
That's important to me. Family's important to me, whether it's 2 legs or 4 legs.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I spend my time on.
I love that. So you have nearly 4,000 folks that you're responsible for at Compass Connections, that's a small army in and of itself across a very expansive area. What's something that you look for when you think about hiring and creating and pouring into the next generation of leaders? What's something that has to be at the foundation of that?
What has to be at the foundation is a couple of things, and they're things that I learned, I believe, as a leader. One is you don't know everything, and you don't know our culture. You have to understand our mission, and you have to be committed to carrying that mission forward. And the people that I have been so blessed to have on my team are people who embody that every single day.
Wow. So what's something you've learned in the last year that you thought, or that you think is just absolutely going to change the world?
Oh my gosh, that's a trick question. What I want to say is, for the first time in my life, I baked a pecan pie.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay, say more. Please say more.
Well, I have always been afraid to bake. My grandmother was the baker in our family, and it always looked daunting. And, I thought I have to challenge myself to do something I've never done. I may fail at, which is difficult, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless needs to happen. And so my granddaughter and I made a pecan pie, and it was darn good.
Oh my. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. I did not know this, so y'all, I had no way of knowing this before. But so my grandmother, they grew up in a place about 40 minutes from here, in Cross Plains, Portland, Tennessee. Okay, and they didn't always have a lot of money. And pecans were expensive.
Yes.
So they would make a poor man's pecan pie. Do you know what they used?
Mm-mm.
Oatmeal.
Interesting.
It still gives you that like crunchiness when it's baked, but it was a lot more accessible to them. So typically for holidays, we ask for two versions, the rich man and the poor man's pecan pie.
I love it.
So what is one random thing that has impacted how you think about AI?
Oh my gosh.
Because you mentioned it a little bit ago, and it's like, oh, this is a perfect question to ask.
I think it is understanding that it is just that fast. If I need to know something, all I do is ask and ask for the AI version. And you have to double check your facts, right?
Absolutely.
Trust but verify.
Yeah.
But I find that it's so quick, which is why I think it has to be tied back to what we need to do with our superheroes. Because it can give you all the information real time, quick, but you also have to know how to use it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a powerful tool as long as you're using it as a connector, not as, again, trust but verify. So this question, and it has a little thing here, this question actually came from an 8-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, Sonya, I know you love kids.
I do.
If you had to give up, Miss Sonya, if you had to give up one sense, what would it be?
I think it would be my vision.
Really?
Yes. I got to eat, man. And it's got to taste good. I mean, that's one thing we know to be true. But, I think just being able to hear things around me and understand the world, I don't have to see it necessarily to
envision how
to
it
get
might
that
be.
joy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to report
God.
back. Please let you keep the vision.
Yeah, let's keep them all. But yes.
I'll have to report back to Leah, 8th grader out of Little Rock, Arkansas, 8-year-old out of Little Rock, Arkansas. We'll report back what it was.
All right.
If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would your gold? What would you win the gold for?
Reading.
Okay. Favorite book
Oh gosh.
or something cool you're reading right now?
So one of my favorite books is The Sin Eater.
Okay.
It's a older book, but it really focuses on the idea of people feeling comfortable giving someone else responsibility for their actions, and it's very good. If you've not read it, you need to read it. Yeah.
I've not read it. All right. If you could live in any decade, which one would you pick and why?
Oh, my word. Probably the 70s. I know I was alive in the 70s, folks, but probably
It's hard
in
to
the 70s.
believe. It's hard to believe.
The music was great.
Okay.
I mean, let's just leave it there.
The music was great. Were you a mom? You were not a mom at that time. Okay, so you were outside, is what the young people say. That you were outside. Music is here. Were you a therapist at that time?
I wasn't.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No, I was
So this was
not.
young Sonya.
This was the young me, yeah.
Okay, I love
but I
that.
would like to have lived older, being older in the 70s. So
What do you
that-
think you would gain from it?
I think the 70s was significant in building the independent thought culture. And I would have liked to have been, again, an older individual embracing that
Yeah.
more than I was able to as a middle schooler.
Okay. Awesome. Sonya, as you think about, where your organization is going and the people that you all serve. I mean, I've spent some time in one of you all's facilities a couple years back and could see, it's incredible. I mean, you have people working, you have call centers.
Yeah, we do.
You have people who are protecting and aiding children, who are educating children, who are helping to provide a covenant and a covering around them. What would you say to someone who is trying to decide between a for-profit journey and a nonprofit journey?
I think the nonprofit journey, if it's done the right way, is a business.
Yeah.
And I would say to that person, you can make the choice to be in a business and do good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing better than that.
Yeah. That it's a good, you leave work feeling good. I think that's probably why I choose from the projects that I pick, like I typically choose, healthcare, nonprofit, or government. And it's because I get a chance to see and also kind of by proxy feel a little bit of that good. I remember some time back, there's I think you all's board chair here. He likes cowboy boots, right? And I remember him standing up in this room, would have been January of 24, 25, and we just got through with this massive body of work. And I remember him standing up in the middle of the room talking about how impactful this work was and sharing a little bit about his why. And you see a person like him, and I won't share his name because that's his business, but who I see as a giant in the community, talking about his purpose. Someone like you who has served people for 35 years
That's right.
while also being a wife and a mom and a dog parent. It's I don't know. I think I'm busy, but you all seem to be a lot more busy. So, Sonya, we're at this point in the time, okay, where we're going to do rapid fire.
Okay.
You first thing that comes to mind, we'll brace for impact, okay?
All right.
We have 2 minutes on the clock, and we're going to start now. Introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
Favorite childhood cartoon?
Bugs Bunny.
That was out in the...
Oh, mercy.
I'm only picking because you said... All right. Hot weather or cold weather?
Hot weather.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Silver or gold?
Silver.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
If your life was a movie, what would it be called?
Oh, my gosh. You can't make this stuff up.
Okay, Sonya, you're not going to believe this, and I really can't make this up. That is the second time I've heard that this month. If you could go back and tell your younger self something, what would you say?
Don't give up. Are we a
Sonya,
pattern here?
we're creating a trend of therapists. And so, city life or country life?
City life.
Ooh. If you could go back and mentor a young girl who was struggling with her identity, what's something you would like to tell that young girl?
Be true to herself. And life is going to be rough one way or another. And the more you're true to yourself, the better you can weather it.
Be true to yourself. Okay. Sonya, the last one. Now, this one may be a little controversial. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Just brace for impact. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Sonya, I thought we're going to have to cancel this whole dang on episode. Why? What is this?
The real truth?
Yes.
Because I don't watch TV very much. I'm a sports fanatic.
Okay.
And I don't really know how to work YouTube, so I do Netflix because it's a path of least resistance. Sorry,
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's a legit answer.
Okay. You can't be mad at the truth. Sonya, you get to ask me in our final time 2 questions. The floor is yours.
Question number 1,
Yeah.
which I would ask you anyway. How's fatherhood?
Exciting and terrifying. I never had that would be a lie. I've always had a fairly heavy foot on the gas. Okay. I enjoy driving. Okay. Now I feel like my grandmother. Okay. And she's like, you'll get over it once you get more comfortable being in the car. But I'm like, both hands, 10 and 2. I'm like, oh God, please don't hit me. The baby's in the back. So I'm like overly aware of things. So I'm trying to let that get out of the way. But the excitement is like, she's growing up already. Like from the time that she was like this little to now she's in her little walker. And she's like doing this call and response situation. She can't speak yet, obviously, but like if I do a little scream, she'll do a little scream back and she gets a giggle out of it. So it's been, I don't know, it's been exciting and terrifying. Yeah.
Good. That's the way it should be.
Oh, so just right here forever.
Not forever, but for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
be that way. So my second question is, I see you focusing on a lot of different areas with the podcast. What is your I don't want to say true intent because it's not the right word, but what is it that you're hoping comes out of this?
I would say 3 things. One is there's this myth, especially as I've chatted with younger people or what I like to call new to school people, new to work people, that people just arrive at wherever level or point in life that they're at. They see it as like some imaginary place to be, and they don't often get a chance to see all the steps that it took a leader to become a leader. So I hope in some cases that it's enlightening. 2, that it humanizes the leaders, right? Because you have to make tough decisions every day. You're doing policy work. I mean, you're with legislators. You have people in your organization that are leaning and depending on you to make the best decision in the moment with the information that you have. You're literally protecting children. And I think sometimes people they miss that. And for many of the folks that I've had on the podcast, they miss that. Earlier this month, we had Tim on from American Addiction Centers, American Centers for Addiction, one of those things, those folks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he talked a little bit about even his journey. This is a guy who is the CHRO of one of the largest addiction centers who's in active recovery. People see that title and they don't know what it comes with sometimes with the weight of it.
Yeah.
Right. And he talks a lot about that during the show. So I'm hoping that it becomes an enlightening piece. And then I guess the third thing would be like, all of y'all are cool. So I get to take 15 or 20 minutes and spend the time. And so often it's pass-through time. A lot of the guests that I've had on the show over the last 3 years, I've either heavily seen and admired, or I've partnered with on something, or like I saw them on the stage. Like one person, like Dr. Mehta, I saw her on a stage and I'm like, she is kicking butt, right? PhD, award winning, yada, yada. And I'm like, I've got to figure out how to get her to Nashville so we could do a set together. And so it's those people who I think I'm comfortable sharing a space with and sharing the room with that I don't know. Yeah.
I like that answer.
Yeah. It is what it is. I love cool people. I love when people they believe in something, even if it's not what I believe in. That's actually the very reason why I joined the military, is to protect those rights. They don't have to align with what I believe. They just have to believe in something and be willing to stand up for it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Sonya, any last minute things you'd like to share with folks who are curious about the work of Compass Connections, are curious about, you and this superhero mantra that you've picked up and you all are coining over there in San Antonio?
I think, I'm going to go back to what I said. It's going to take us all. And if you want to be a part of the movement, compassconnections.org, you can reach out. If you're not interested in reaching out, you can follow us. We're going to work on, again, policy. We're going to work on some things that kind of drive the direction that it needs to go. And we need folks to help.
Sonya, I think y'all need shirts. Okay. I think, and you know what? I'm going to make it my business between now and the time that this comes out. I'm going to get me a superhero shirt. Okay.
You do it.
Y'all please don't sue me for the copyright. Okay. All right, folks, we have reached the end of our time. In the words of Tabitha Brown, who is one of my favorite people in the whole world, I hope you all have the most amazing day. But even if you can't, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. See y'all. Bye.